Hey everyone, it's Pam from GlamJunkJournals, and today we are continuing on in my series From Inspiration to Junk Journal. This is series number 3, and this is going to be part 5. And the inspiration for the whole journal is this gorgeous blue book that I got at an antique store. And I've got to tell you that I started filming how I put this part of the cover together, and I was just talking away and I realized I wasn't filming. So I've got to start over. So let me show you what I've done to the cover, and we're going to continue on today. So on the cover, I added these gorgeous book corners, and they're metal, and I absolutely love them. And let me show you these to you. I got these on Amazon, and I just think they're the bomb. Look at all these different corners. I think there's almost 100 pieces in this pack, and they're all different sizes, and there's some silver and some of this burnished bronze look, and I absolutely love them. And the way I added these to the corners, and this is just a little FYI, as you can see on these corners here, they just clip onto the edge of your book page like that. And what I do is I add a little bit of E6000 on the interior of that before I put it on my corner. And the reason for that is I find that even after hammering these down, and let me show you the hammer that I use to do this. It is, it's got like a rubber end to it so that when I'm hammering it down, it doesn't damage the book cover and put a dent in it. But what I found is without that extra glue, they sometimes move around and come off. And that's just been my experience. So I wanted to share that with you. And I'll put a link to these book corners in the description box. And along with that, as you can tell, I love my gold gilding wax. And that is this Rub and Buff in gold leaf, and I just wanted to play up the golds that are throughout this cover. So I went around all of the edges, and another thing that I did do is, if you guys recall in my previous videos, this book was on Washington, D.C., and it had a big Washington across the top. Now, not to say that that's a bad thing, but it wasn't the theme that I was going for. So I put this paper over the top of the word Washington, and this is an antique end paper that I got out of the interior of a ledger that I purchased, and I absolutely think this is just so beautiful. So I added that on, and I did use E6000 on the bottom of that, made sure that was secure. And then over the whole thing, I did a layer of Mod Podge matte, and it is very secure. And the final touch that I added onto this side are these filigree metal, they're like jewelry or decorations. I don't know what the actual term is. And I got these also on Amazon. Look at all these. I've used these in a lot of my other journals, and I just think they're gorgeous. I'm just so excited about that. And I love the filigree look to that. And I just wanted to play up those things. So I added one of those onto the cover with E6000 again, and just put a button over the top, just a little sparkle right there. So we are going to be creating an open spine today. Oh, and I will put a link to these in the description box also. They're so cool. So what was I saying? Oh yes, an open spine journal. Now what I did is I took 2 strips of fabric, and I used the ticking, as you can see underneath right there, that ticking. And then over the top of that, I did add some lace. And what I did is I cut 2 strips, and they're approximately 4 inches by 2. So 2 by 4. And I cut 2 of them, and I sewed them, I glued them together, and I sewed just a decorative stitch around the edge. And that is going to be the open spine. So I glued these on with Fabrifix, and I left about a little over an inch for the width of my spine, and I'll show you why. So on the interior here, oh, and I did want to mention on the interior, I did add some vintage wallpaper. I love that look. So the reason I left about an inch is because I'm going to add 2 signatures onto this, or into this, I should say. So what you want to do is take your 2 signatures and give yourself enough room around, you know, in between, so that it's not too tight, but it's not too loose. And that is why I left about, like I said, a little over an inch. So you want to take your signatures and line them all up in between your 2 book covers and glue your hinge over the top. And I wish I was filming this when I actually glued it together, but I think you guys get the idea. I was inspired by Julie Stine, and in her video, she was inspired by Ruby and Pearl. So I'll put a link to the videos below. And this is a little bit different, but, you know, the same inspiration. Oh, what was I going to say here? Whew, I've been talking a lot and I'm losing my breath here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add our signatures in. And one thing that I did is each of my signatures, I've got 2 signatures in this journal, is I attached the signature with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch on each of these. I feel that it gives it a little bit of extra stability, and especially in my case, because I like to add tons of fabric and extra embellishments, and I think it just holds the pages together. So that's what I did on both of the signatures. So I want to get out one of your signatures and find the center. Where is my center? There it is. And I am going to bind these with some sari silk. And I cut 2 strips, and they're probably, you know, 2 times the width of my, the length of my journal page. And, you know, they can be any length. You just want to make sure that it's long enough to go through and go around one time. So what we're going to do is we're going to just lay this in the middle and then position it right in the center of your cover and just pull this around to the side. And you want to make sure that your signature is lined up with the end of your cover. And we're just going to tie this. And so I'm going to tie mine up at the top with a knot. And I've seen this, Julie did a bow at the top, and I think Ruby and Pearl did also. But I'm going to do a knot, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And you want to pull it tight, but not too tight, because you don't want to tear the pages of your signature. So I am going to pull that tight as I can. You know, you need another pair of hands here. So there is the first signature added, and we're going to do the same thing with the second signature. So there is the center of my second signature. And I'm going to take my sari silk again and wrap it around and pull it tight and tie another knot up at the top. And there again, you want to make sure that both of your signatures, so that one is towards the end, and this one is going to be, let me get it through the whole signature there. And we're just going to tie it at the top. And like I said, I'm going to do a knot again. Another, oh, I was about to do a bow. Did you see that? Ha! I automatically go to bow. But I'm going to do a knot right there. And there you have it. The easiest thing ever. I absolutely love this. And so when you open it, you can see the sari silk, you know, in the middle right there. And I just think that that is beautiful. So the reason I wanted to add just a knot at the top is I think I am going to create a tassel using some jewelry that I got at a thrift store, some additional ribbon, another piece of sari silk, lace, and, you know, another blue ribbon. And I am going to create a tassel to add right to the top. So that's my plan. Now, what I wanted to do also with this is do a tie closure. And what I want to do is just take another piece of sari silk, and I'm going to wrap it around twice. And if I get the right length here for my ribbon here, and pull it tight, and then tie. This time I am going to do a bow in the center, and I'll finagle around with this bow. This isn't how it's going to end up, but you guys get the idea, right? It is so quick, so easy, and so beautiful. Don't you love that? Oh, I absolutely love this. It's so cool. Now, one thing is if you didn't want to do a tie closure around the whole journal, another thing you could do is just punch a hole here and a hole here, and maybe add an eyelet and thread some ribbon or string, twine, and just have it as a tie closure like that. Or another thing you could do is on the interior, you could attach your ribbon right here, either glue it or, you know, use, what else could you use? The hole again on the ends, and thread it through behind your spine here, come out on the other side and attach your ribbon right here. And then you would have another type of closure there. So there you have it. A gorgeous journal cover that is so fun and so quick and easy to come together, and it just adds so much to your cover. I absolutely love it. So I hope this has inspired you, and you know, I'm always learning new things and trying new things, and so I'm very excited with how this turned out. So the next video that I'm doing is going to be a flip through. I haven't finished adding all my ephemera and embellishments into this particular journal, but that flip through will be coming up soon. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.